So hey guys, today I felt like just teaching you some more Rumble Fighter mechanics just for fun, I guess. So today we're going to cover just a basic mechanic in depth. So we have just guarding or blocking. So blocking has a lot of versatility and a lot of nuance to it. So first off, for an advanced tech, I can't actually input this on my keyboard or my current setup for whatever reason. It has something to do with like ghosting or something, right? Keyword ghosting. So I can't like input air grab consistently. But if you go ahead and air grab, so it'd be like left jump, right jump, air grab. And then you need a certain amount of jump to do this. But if you have enough jump, you should be able to then do this. So let's see if I can input it a single time. So we need to be a certain altitude as well. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. So if we were up here and we were descending like this, and I was able to put an air grab there, it should work in theory. So let's try from maybe the fence here. And here, nope, didn't get the input. Okay. Nope. Grab, nope. Grab, nope. But if we get the air grab off, we should be able to block immediately after the air grab. And this is what I call a completely useless tech that should probably never come up. It is, of course, the legendary air block. And also, in case you're wondering, yes, you can in fact air counter as well. So yeah, that's a thing. But okay. Useless mechanics aside, with blocking, if I am attacked like this, hello buddy, alright, attack me please. Yep. So if I get attacked just head on, I will of course get knocked back, but if I change my angle, I'm going to get pushed back a different way. Like so. So like this, there is just a little bit of, okay, let's see. And if essentially if you get hit, you're going to get sent backwards. So now what if I were to do a block like this, right? What happens then? Okay, we're going to block down, we get pushed back. But the way they're punching is they're punching to the right as of currently, and then they change the angle here. Okay, but if they do not change the angle, you'll just get sent back, right? And then the alignment that you should get if your opponent is just attacking willy-nilly, a little bit thoughtlessly, it would look something like this. So you like a few attacks like that, and then you'll be positioned about here, right? And that's because you simply angled your block downwards. Not like this, but like this, right? And then when you're over here, easily you could do some form of punish. So we could start a juggle. And then boom, we could also edge them off the map like that. And that would be something that would be pretty easy to do. If we were to do a block like this is beneficial for other reasons as well. But if we block like this, it also has the added benefit of if our opponent wants to grab us, they have to grab diagonally like this. If we grab at, if we're in this position, we can be grabbed upwards like this. We can also be grabbed like this from these angles, all three of these angles. If we're blocking from this direction like this, they could not grab like this because we're not going to be aligned properly. So to show that off, I'll have you facing this way, then I'll turn this way, right? Well, actually, I did it diagonally. Oops. Okay. So that'd be like trying to grab like this, right? That's not gonna happen, right? So let's do. So that'd be the alignment would be this way, right? You'd have to angle this way, and that's beneficial if you're the defending player. So it wouldn't be applicable to this map, but let's pretend maybe this is the edge of the map here, right? If I am blocking this way, my opponent could grab me this way, and then I would fall off the map, which is this way, right? If I am blocking, however, it would be, it depends, but like it could be this way, then I'm never going to be able to be grabbed here, right? If that makes sense. So depending on the direction you're blocking, it gives your opponent different directions where they can grab you and throw you off. depending on your exact positioning, it kind of changes. But that's just something to be a little aware of, and it's different for every single map. And of course, if there's no edging as well, right? And that's just a little bit of the basics of blocking. If we block like this, of course, at an angle, or just strictly not directly facing our opponent head on with our block, then this enables us to do some plays where if we're getting hit here, they'll just gradually, if they aren't careful about it, will be positioned like this, right? If we're blocking at an angle, so that would be like this, we'll get pushed back a little bit and the positioning becomes different, but this enables us to have a little bit more freedom with how our positioning is. So from this position, if our opponent is around here relative to us, we can also just take a step backwards, like during their combo, and then we should be able to kind of punish this. And of course, if you are a little bit of a better player, you're able to punish this as well. So we're going to move our training partner here. So if I'm doing this attack, I could do this, and then we go, okay. So let's align the first hit. So it'll be this, and then we can turn around, like, so we're facing them head on once again. But if they're actually a really good player, what they can do is they can drop the guard mid-combo, and as you can see here, you can drop the guard and re-guard really fast. So it's like this, and then this, right? This, or we could do this and into this, right? It's really quick. So by doing that, this prevents, well, if we're able to pull it off correctly, this prevents us from being grabbed head on like this, because we'd be changed from like, well, it depends on the exact position, but we'd change from here to like here. So that alignment changes, and then maybe we can't be grabbed off anymore unless I guess it's an omni grab, which that could be important, I guess. But for the most part, we're just blocking, we get pushed away. But if our opponent's good, we won't get a free punish. Our opponent should, in theory, do like an angle, right? And technically, you could change your angle several times, so it's like, it's hard for me to input here, but it's like this, and then this, right? Okay, so this, and then this, and you can angle quite a few more times depending on how many hits your combo has. So yeah, it's just essentially just all about playing around with different angles and also abusing the knockback that your attacks have. And this is pretty important for 1v1s, I suppose. And it's still somewhat useful in like 1v2 situations as well. So if we're able to change our position and manipulate it a bit, it can allow us to reposition. And if we have just a moment where we can move, we can then leave. And that's also important, because if you're getting 1v2, you also have the option of not taking the 1v2 and just saying sayonara, and that's useful for, I guess, like any team mode. And sometimes buying time is just not that bad either. Well, I mean, it gets a little bit more complicated with team play. Like, for example, if I do this and I perform the juggle, you can actually infinite someone with a juggle if you have a second person. So I should do this correctly at least once, I guess. I don't really have the timing down for this goal, but after I do that kick, if someone was standing here, they could catch that and then perform a juggle of their own, and then juggle it back to me, and then I can do that and pass back and forth. But it's not like as relevant without air panic. And if you have a teammate, all they have to do is simply like tap someone with an attack, and then the juggle should be dropped, right? And then you're not getting infinited anymore, which is pretty cool, I guess. And of course, also worth mentioning is that if you have your back against the wall, it is very hard to actually hit you. So we'll do it here. So, all right, let's see. Face me and look. Punching from here, punching from here. Now that's some abuse, right? And as you can see here, I can clearly not get any good hits off here. The only way you could get a hit off here, well, this isn't actually a wall. There's not any walls in this map, so it's kind of hard to really showcase. I guess the closest thing would be somewhere around here. I guess this would be fine. But you have to like do an angled kick or something like that, I believe. And then we might be able to hit, but this isn't the wall, so it's hard for me to test this. So when you're in position like this is actually a disgusting way to stall time. So if we do a grab, that has a long animation, right? Relatively long, that's a few seconds. And this is mostly about buying time. So imagine you're in a 2v1 situation, back against the wall. We're going to just block. And right here, in this position, there is like, there are some tricks to kind of get your opponent, get their back kind of like off the wall and make them move slightly forward, which gives you like an opportunity to kind of hit them in the back like this, right? Kind of like that a little bit. But otherwise, you know, it is very genuinely impossible to hit someone when they're like this. Aside from that, you would have to grab, right? And that's kind of just an annoying little gimmick right there. And I mean, look at how difficult it is to hit through guard, actually. Yeah, pretty nasty. But yeah, I guess situations like this, that's where grabbing comes in handy. But then, you know, of course, if I know that you want to grab, I can just drop the guard and then just punch you in the throat, you know? That's why the game's pretty complicated and pretty like just fun in general, the PvP, if the game functioned. But you know, mechanically, I think the game's like pretty good. Other things, yeah, I can't say much about the other things right now, but you know, yeah, simple guard with wall against back, pretty hard to deal with, and this is particularly useful to know for like, what was it called, Shadow Ninjutsu, for example, because that scroll is just absolutely disgusting, has disgusting range, but also the grab actually just sucks. You don't actually move with the grab. So there's some grabs that might throw you just forward and not backwards, right? So if I get thrown like this, even if I block right, I'm out in the open, I can get hit anywhere back here. And yeah, that's basically how that goes. So easy back kick. Oh, wait. You can do that too. Yeah, that's rough. Okay. But in general, yeah, just blocking efficiently can make you a lot better of a player in this game, I suppose. And not a whole lot else to say unless I'm forgetting something else important aside from just angle abusing and also abusing the wall. There's not much else to say about blocking, but just being aware of the fact that your opponent can indeed punish you a little bit for guarding with grabs. And, well, if you're aware of it, you can abuse it. And also, of course, there are options you have outside of block. Like when you drop the block, we have drop block counter, drop block grab. We have also just jump out of block. Jump out of block is fairly safe unless you're against a good player, honestly. So the reasoning behind this is that you'll get knocked down if your opponent is actively doing a combo, right? If I were suddenly to just drop this and then jump, the expectation is that I might get knocked, but the next step after that is to angle change when you get hit and knocked. So if we go from this and then we hold, I think, I don't know the exact input, but if we press up, I believe it's like when we get hit, that should change the angle and change our character to facing a different way. So we'd be here. If our opponent is not ready for it, they might not be able to catch the angle change and perform the juggle. Or they might not be prepared for you to just do the jump. But, you know, it is just an option and it's nice to know your options. like this is an option, for example, then we could do it like this as well. But I wasn't positioned properly for that. Yeah, if we do it wrong, it looks like that, I guess. Well, yeah, okay. I think there was one more option, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, right. It was that if we're quick enough like that, we can reposition a little bit, so we would have been standing around here, and then we just do the kick punch like that. And then that's a quick way to kind of get a little bit of distance, but I mean, it's all about learning your options, learning when to use them, making the right calls. That's what the game's about, I guess. That's the name of the game. It's just really, really, really advanced rock, paper, scissors, I suppose. That's one way to look at it. So, yeah, that's all I got, but for real this time. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably not be about Rumble Fighter, but, you know, if anyone's actually interested, maybe we could bring back the game one of these days. We'll see. But, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.